Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for clicking on my video. The moment you have all been waiting for. Will I reach 1900 this game or not? If you look, it has been a more or less slow grind over the past 6 months to reach this moment right now. My highest rating ever of 1894, my lowest rating of 1765. Not really sure, but all through here. So, this next game, I will have the opportunity to be 1900 or go back into the endless cycle of winning elo, losing elo, winning elo, losing elo. So please give me somebody not ridiculously difficult. 3 years ago, 14,000 games, 1885, we get the Carl Khan. It is looking good. It's looking good so far. Exchange variation, advanced variation, let's go. We bring the bishop out here. He tries to do this cheeky little trap my bishop move, but we're smarter than that. We know how to get around it. Now, there is a line that I'll show after the game why it is important to push this pawn 2 squares instead of just 1. So we solidify the center, we get a beautiful Egyptian pyramid, we trade off this light square bishop, and then we're going to go for this pawn push straight out the bat. I know what I'm doing. Knight can now go here. We vacated the square for the knight. We broke the pyramid, and we are going to just absolutely demolish this guy. He has no idea what's in store for him. This knight can easily develop, not to that square, obviously to f3, f6, whatever. I'm so bad at these coordinates. He's attacking this pawn with a check and my bishop. Can I defend everything at once? I can definitely do this and let him take my pawn. Let's think about this for just a second. I can scoot up, but that hangs the bishop. And I've played this position so many times that it makes me believe that I can just do this, and if he takes this pawn, what do? I attack him. He takes another pawn, maybe? What do we do here? What do we do? I think we have to do this and we give up the pawn. If you hear from the tone of my voice, I'm not sure. So I was absolutely, dreadfully, 100% confident into the opening. But right now, am I losing a pawn? Or is he getting his king over advanced into my territory and he'll get battered around and I'll be able to put together an advantage because of that? It's impossible for me to say because I'm only 1800. When I'm 1900, I'll be able to tell you. And so he's thinking long and hard about taking this pawn. He does elect to do it. Now, I can hit him. Is there anything better? This check doesn't do a whole lot. This check, block, sacrifice. If he scoots up, I mean, I feel like it makes sense to just attack the queen, right? Boom, boom, boom. The queen gets out of here, but then he won a pawn, and I get nothing from it. This undefends my rook. Oh, boy. What if I just develop a knight and say, okay, bud, I'm developing a knight. I'm ready to castle. Yes, you got a pawn, but I feel like I've got a sort of a lead in development over here. And so, what am I thinking? What should I do? Should I attack the queen now? Should I go for this check now? He can just develop a knight and block that. That's not great for me. I can attack the queen now, and this pawn is hanging. That's also very true. And maybe that's actually better for me. Because once I grab that pawn, this pawn isn't defended. And this pawn is defended. So I'm thinking if I slide over, you got to go here, and then I'm coming in. Let's go for it. Super defended rook attacking the queen, letting me access the 7th rank. And I'm almost guaranteed this is what I have to do, right? That's the only thing that I've got going for me. Then this pawn is hanging. Going for it. Absolutely going for it. Okay, so he takes. If I take with the queen, he can get in. So if I take with the king, because I feel Like, I got an attack brewing. I really like the idea of this. Because you'd have to go somewhere. If you go here, I might just take. And then we're going to get this trade where I win the game. And so I'm thinking I take with the king. Right? Because if I take with the queen, he just hits me with this check. I got to come back. He trades the queens. And I don't love it. We're taking with the king. I have fully just committed to we are winning this game. We are winning or we are losing. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so he scoots back. This is also an idea, but he's so ready to castle. And I'm not going to even be able to castle. So, what if we do like a multi-threat? We threaten this while at the same time we threaten this. Can he solve all of those with castling? Oh my goodness, I think he can. He castles. We then take. He then takes. Then this is undefended. That's a crazy calculation right there, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work. We are threatening this, and we are threatening this. So he has to castle. He's going to castle. His rook's going to be here. But then we take. He can't take with the king. He can scoot away, but then I kind of won a pawn. Is that crazy? Is that crazy? Take, 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 here. I think let's just go for it. Okay. Okay. And I'm up a pawn. And I can grab this pawn. Hey. Really liking the looks of that. We grab this pawn. He can't directly attack me again. My king is super uber duper weak. He can hit me with this. But we can kind of take that away by taking this pawn. Fairly certain that taking that pawn is what we need to be doing here. And I mean, he's definitely got this. Definitely he's got that coming for me. In which case, like, what am I even supposed to do there? Push my pawn? If he takes, my knight jumps in. We're taking here. I can threaten the queen trade, if anything. That took away this check. The queens are kind of battling it out over here. And then this square is, yeah, definitely that's a problem. Definitely that's a problem. If I scoot over, his queen might come in. I can attack the queen. Wait a minute. I can attack the queen. Also defend this. So boom, attack the queen. The queen probably moves here. Then I jump forward. And there's no more oof here and then push. I'm a calculating menace. Attack the queen. Defends the check. Attack the queen. What are the other options? You could scoot forward and attack my knight, but then I push forward and it's defended. I need this 6 elo, bro. Quit playing games with me. And my queen needs to come back. Absolutely, my queen needs to come back. My rook is absolutely doing nothing. Like a move as simple as this potentially could be like hard for me to deal with. Like I could grab this pawn, but then he's coming in with check. And all I can really do is defend with my knight. And I did not do a great job of defending this. So what if he plays here? Okay. He is definitely attacking this now. Is pushing forward the right idea? What if we like run with the king? Scoot over and defend that is one idea. Push forward and defend it. What is better? Push forward. This pawn is now super, super weak. I need to get my rook. The whole not castling idea got me in a predicament. And now if I ever move my knight anywhere, this check is kind of in the cards. And I don't have any good checks. My queen needs to get back into the action. I need to get my rook. I'm up so many pawns. So many pawns. If I can just avoid getting brutally attacked, I think I'll be all good. So I can take that with check. Makes me believe that that's a good move. I'm not even going to think about it for too long. I feel like that's what we have to do. This allows me to get a check. There's this, but like check, push. Check, push. This is defended. My queen is ready to slide back in. So check, push, check. Don't want to allow all that. What if I just scoot my king over and allow this? Scooting over allows this, but then I come forward. It allows this, but then I scoot over here. I might just allow the check. Then I come up. Wait a minute. Here, 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 here. What do I do, boys? Oh, he just blocks. He just blocks. That was such a bad move. No. Oh, I threw it away. Absolutely just threw my advantage away. Okay, I can hit him with another check. That is what we need to play here, and I need to figure out what am I doing about this situation. At least that got the rook off of this check. So now maybe I do scoot over. I allow this check now. Oh my god, it changed the position just enough to where I slide over here. Everything is held defense, and he doesn't have this check, which was very crucial because I was so afraid of this. I can for sure just block with my queen. Block with the queen. And I'm getting ready to get my rook involved. Here, 1 minute. As long as I don't blunder, I think I should be able to clutch this up. He can push this pawn, and then I have pretty much have to play something like this. We trade the queens. Oh my god. Passed pawn over here. Cut this guy off. We're going for this pawn. Is he going to attack my pawn or defend? He is going to defend. I'm going to go here anyway. Take. You get this pawn. I'm sliding in here. Everything's defended. I'm going to scoot over here. That was a weird square to put my rook. If he trades, I think I'm just winning this endgame. I scoot over. Push this pawn first. Then we push this pawn. This should be a pretty straightforward dub right here. Like if he doesn't take, just take. We're going this way. What if I just go for this? Fairly certain there's no way that I can screw this up. So I think I just need to play a little bit faster. Go in there. Here. Here. And I'm gonna go take this pawn. and literally do this. Here, scoot back this way. No chance of a draw, buddy. We're going to come here. Okay. Should I just make 2 queens? Why not? Check. 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 And we're just going to hit him with the ladder mate. Boy, what a good game. And good. Don't make me... Even in the pawn endgame, he could have resigned. Officially, we slide on over here. My rating, let's just look at this together. I've never seen the number 9 come in second. Let's check this out. 1902. Boy, I'm wearing a cardigan. We're out here playing chess. Better than 88.2% of rapid players. On chess.com, I'm at like the 95 or 99 or something like that percent. When you're like 16 or 1700 on chess.com, you're like, there's so many accounts on chess.com. People on Lee Chess are like real chess players. So that's why the rating is like that. Is there are less people that are like creating accounts and play 2 games and then quit. 1902. And I felt like I was scared for a second. I really was just trying to avoid the counterplay. And so, what are we trying to do here? Games. We're going back to the game. We're going to check it with the computer, and I'll see you over there. And here we are in the analysis. And oh boy, was that a good game of chess. I played, where are we at, with 96% accurate. 2 inaccuracies and 1 mistake. And partially the reason that it's so high is because these last like 20 moves are all... they're all the best move, so I made a lot of really accurate moves. But also in the game, I fared quite well, and so taking some of those pawns was a little bit risky because it gave my opponent counterplay, and he could have got it back to an equal position if he found like a key knight sacrifice that just would be hard to find with such low time. And so one thing I want to explain to you guys is this. The reason that you play h5 instead of h6 is because if you play this, you get hit, 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 you get hit again, and then you scoot back, and there's this pawn push. You defend with the queen, but he takes, you have to take with the king, and then white just has a plus 0.8 advantage. But honestly, that's what the computer says, because the computer can defend this perfectly. I'm going to let you know, from a human standpoint, this is very hard to play because your king is right here. These pawns are advancing. And not only that, your rook has a really hard time getting out. This bishop has a hard time getting out. It's a hard to play position, okay? And you don't want to allow that in the first 5 moves of the game. So again, the difference here is if you play here, if you get, well, there is no you get hit. That's just, you just take it right away. So there is none of that. So for 1, it just takes away this. But then for 2, even if you scoot here and then scoot back, so like boom, and you get hit and you scoot back, your bishop is defending this square. So the pawn push, if he takes, you can take with the bishop, and that is not nearly as bad as having to take with the king. So you just play 2 squares. Now, I have to be honest with you, I haven't actually played too many games in this position. I normally just push 1 square, and that whole sequence where the pawn push, it didn't used to happen a lot, but now that I'm getting higher in rating, it happens almost every single time. So people that are at 1900-ish, 1900, they study their openings and they know what they're doing. So try to avoid all of that nonsense. And so that's a nice little 2-minute opening repertoire that you should know. You're supposed to pin the knight, whatever. I take because that's what I do in most of the Caro-Kann variations, and then I always go for this pawn push. Take, take. And I knew from playing so many Caro-Kanns that this is not a good move. I was trying to think, like, do I just allow this? But I think it's good. This is the only move. And so I've played this exact position on the queen side many times, minus the pawn being here and here. Maybe like the pawn is here and here. Something similar to that. And so he takes, and it's a blunder because I just bring the knight. I attack the queen gets out of here, and then I get in. So that's why gobbling this pawn was not a good idea for our opponent. And then all of these moves are basically equal. If you look over here, you can see like they're all basically equal. You can take with any piece, but taking with the king is the most committal. It's like, we're playing a game of chess now. He gets the queen out, and then I decided to be fancy because I can calculate stuff, and I calculated, boom, we're attacking here. He has to castle because we're also attacking here. Then I sacrifice, he takes. Now this is only defended by 1 rook instead of 2, and then I take, hit him with check. I calculated all that, thought I was really nifty, and so I went for it. It was the wrong idea. The right idea is just play it simple. Scoot the queen up and bring another rook. You don't have to be sacrificing bishops for pawns and all of that. And so I go for my idea. It does work, so I am capable at calculating some stuff. And then what I needed to realize here is my queen needs to be a serious defensive piece because his queen is ready to just come in somehow on this side of the board. Right now, this rook is doing nothing. This knight is not really doing a whole lot either. And so taking this pawn was a blunder because I should have just came back, just played defense over here and just like guarded all of the infiltration squares of the enemy queen. Instead, I grab the pawn. We get an equal position. And then again, I go for another pawn, which doesn't make sense. He could have just played here, and then in which case, if I do take, this is a draw because he can just check me a million times. And so I could show you the lines, but basically he checks me a million times, and the only opportunity for me to run to like one of these squares, he hits me with this check. Okay? So he just check, and if I try and get out of it, I get hit losing a pawn, and I lose the game. Okay? So no way that either of us were going to see this. Again, it's equal here because he can sacrifice his knight. If I take back, he's getting in here, and then he's attacking my rook, he's attacking my pawn, and essentially I lose the game because this is just impossible for me to defend. And so he didn't see it. I don't hate either of us for not seeing that knight sacrifice, but he could just sacrifice here, and then he's threatening this, and that's not a terrible idea. If I was him, I would have gone back here. He knows, like, this is a complicated, hard to calculate move. This is really easy. I take it with check. So don't play it. He should have just played here, and then he's attacking this. And then I scoot over, and then, like, the game goes on. Then he plays here or here and gets the knight back into the game slowly. Going here allows me to trade off the pieces. And now he's totally screwed. And so this was a little bit like a stroke of luck. I slide in with this check, really just to like get the king to move somewhere, and then I had another turn to like think about, okay, what am I doing about this weak pawn and this infiltration? Because I was considering for a while, like, what if we just like I don't know, scoot the king over and allow this? That's what I was thinking. Like, what if we just scoot the king over and allow this? The big problem with that is check. If I go back here, he checks me. I have to scoot up. He gets my rook. So I can't go back. So he would check me. I can't go here. Well, I'm already here. So I'd basically have to scoot here. But then there's this check. And then I have to scoot up because this would be hanging. Are you able to see all of that with me? The queen comes in. I go over. The queen goes in. I go up. He hits me with this check. If I go anywhere else, I get checkmated. So I have to scoot up. Then he wins the pawn. He's attacking my rook. And it's just, I'm going to get cooked. And so I go here. He defends with the rook. And thank goodness there was this check. That's the only thing that I had in this position. Then I scoot over and allow this check. And the big difference is now the rook is back here. He can no longer scoot over and give me that crucial check. So I'm okay with running because this check is no longer there. He hits me. I block with the queen. I block with the pawn. Something simple in chess is when you move pawns, the position change. This is weak, yes, of course. But if you push this to defend this, that opens this whole diagonal. And immediately, in 2 seconds, I see this opportunity to trade the queens. Again, quick thinking here. I can take with either pawn. Which one is better to take with? I say from the human standpoint, you don't give the enemy's rook an open file. Okay? Cuts my king off. The rook gets an open file. I take with this pawn because now he doesn't have an open file. I slide over here. I could have just directly attacked the pawn. That would have made more sense, but I decided to be fancy attacking the pawn. And so he's going for my pawn, but I'm going for his. We trade off. I bring my rook back with the idea of putting him here behind the passed pawn, defending with my king, push, 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 and then eventually we trade the rooks off. I got 50 seconds, and I go for this. And never in a million years should he trade his last active piece into an end game where like you're just so cooked because I'm just pushing my pawns, bro. I got 2 extra pawns. There's no way you win. If you keep the rook on the board, like say you do this, you got better chances than if you trade it, okay? You're still probably going to lose, but you have better chances, okay? You can like pose problems, and absolutely, if I have 48 seconds and you still have a rook, bro, just keep the rook. Give checks, like just make threats. The rook is the most annoying piece when it comes to flagging in the end game and just being annoying, because it can just literally like give so many checks, and it's so elusive and powerful. It can attack from a distance and just move a bunch of squares that like essentially changes nothing. So like say you're cutting the king off, like the king is trying to come this way, you can just like scoot up and down on the same file and like make pre-moves and whatever. Then this, obviously we push the pawn, we take, here we go. And probably the easiest thing that I could have done was realize that this is impossible for him to take. So say my king is all the way over here. If his king is here, he can never actually take this pawn because this pawn runs. Okay? So I could have realized that, but I was in a little bit of low time, and what I decided I wanted to do was just get rid of his pawn. Because if I was to try that, say here, like if I was to try this, at some point he could like sneak in and have a passed pawn, and then I might have to trade a queen for a queen. If I trade off, if I make a little tunnel and trade off his last pawn, I can never lose on time. There's no complications. He literally has nothing. And then the reason that I do this is like I just want this to be my queen. I know what's going on over here. All these squares are covered. You basically are going to have to scoot out eventually somewhere. And so I play like this so that I can just promote over here. No stalemates, no funny business. Did I need to make a second queen? No, but it's quite simple. In a situation like this, when you have 13 seconds and you're checkmating an enemy king, every move needs to be a check. And so what you're trying to do is get in a situation where you're hitting the ladder mate. I'm sure you guys know this, but you got to be careful with 2 queens in an endgame with 10 seconds, because the king can very easily get cut off on the diagonals, because you're not thinking about like, okay, all of this is also being attacked. Everything, like this is all being attacked. And that gets kind of hard to see, like, okay, so these are the squares that are not being attacked, and these ones are being attacked. It gets hard. So either way, we're rated 1900. I'm wearing a cardigan. We're out here. Thank you so much for watching. That was like 11 minutes for the review. I hope it was educational. We got a little opening game knowledge. We got a little end game technique. We got a little tactics. And then we got white had the opportunity to equalize, not material, but with an attack. And so very often in a game of chess, if you go down a pawn or something, you have the opportunity to put forth an attack, because the enemy is taking time to like take one of your pawns on the side of the board like I did over here, and he had an opportunity to make an attack over here. Okay? And so I hope that was educational. Thank you so much. And if you like this video, check out some of my other ones. I'm going to put them up here. If you want to message me, there's my Instagram. You want to send me Bitcoin, I accept payments of $100,000. No problem. Just let me know. And have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Bye.